Hello YouTube, my name is Pure Lighter and welcome back to the Otakuzone. Today we're gonna go ahead and do my top 5 animes of all times. Now, if you guys didn't see my last video, you probably know a little bit already, mostly because it was a nostalgia of how I got into anime, but yeah, I'll link a description down below of my last video, or my very first video I guess. But yeah, let's go ahead and show you my top 5 animes of all times. Just a little disclaimer, this one might be just completely biased because of how long I love anime, and I've been an otaku for a long time already. So if you guys don't like this one, don't worry about it. This is just a recommendation of my top 5 good animes that I have watched over the years. So yeah, let's get started. Coming on number 5, we're gonna go ahead with Sword Art Online. Now, you probably guys already know that I have the background here of Sword Art Online. But yeah, Sword Art Online for me was a very good anime to put in my top 5 because it grabbed you by... this show just grabs you unexpectedly. Nobody knows how this actually went about, I guess. But Sword Art Online is made by Reiki Kawahara, probably butchered that. But he made a light novel of the series, and that series was made into an anime. The anime spawned 2 seasons, a movie that's coming out in the next few months, and some special side stories basically. But in the end, Sword Art Online has become something of the biggest thing around. Probably bigger than any animes like Naruto, Bleach, or even Pokemon at that point. But it is a very good anime for anybody who wants to get into anime. I recommend it as one of my top 5s, of course. And you know, you guys just go ahead and watch it. It's a long one, so be prepared for a couple of feels and probably just a couple of disappointments. But in the end, Sword Art Online, it's a good anime. I recommend it. Go ahead and watch it. But yeah, let's move on to the top 4. For top 4, I have what's called Negima, or maybe in a better phrase, Mahou Sensei Negima. Mahou Sensei Negima is actually made by Ken Akamatsu, one of the most veteran manga artists out there. One of the things about Negima is that I love how it became from just a funny, I guess ecchi anime or manga, I guess, into a more battle style manga later on. I have all the volumes for it, and it wasn't really that easy to get them. But at the same time, I love the anime. At the same, one of the reasons why I love Negima so much is because it 2 things specifically. One, it got me into anime for the first time because I researched the anime. I talked about it in my last video. And for the second one, it has a lot of memories. I met my best friend because of it, and since then we've been best friends ever since. We talk about Negima all the time and how Ken Akamatsu can actually just do great things out there. He's a very good veteran when it comes to his mangas. But yeah, Negima, I really recommend it. It has 1 season that spites a little bit of the manga. It has a spin-off series called Negima that actually has like a little retelling of what it is. It's just a little bit different. Better animation though, great artwork, good altogether. It has a movie which is actually the part B of the ending of the series, while the manga of course is part A. And then of course if you want to check out Ken Akamatsu, there's other works like Love Hina, and then the most recent one, Yuku Holder. But at the same time, I recommend Negima as one of my top 5 animes. Alright, for top 3, we have actually something different than most of the other mangas. It's called Clannen. Now, Clannen is mostly a romance anime. It's made by the Kyoto Animations, which actually spawns great animation out there. I really recommend you guys check them out. But Clannen is one of those romance animes that it's a little bit different. It doesn't have like romance like right from the start, but it has like it goes into the romance afterwards, and you know, you guys probably guessed that the main character just falls in love with the female protagonist and all the stuff, you know. But overall, Clannen is one of those animes that I really recommend if you're looking for a good love story, or maybe even a sad story. Clannen actually made me cry more than a lot of good animes out there, and trust me, it will make you cry. It has 2 seasons, Clannen and Clannen After Story, which is just basically just a continuation, but I really recommend this as my top 3. So yeah, go check it out if you guys want it, and let's move on. So for my top 2, this one is a little bit different than any other ones out there. It's called Magical Girl Lyrical Nanoha. Now, in Japanese, of course, it will be Mahou Shoujo Lyrical Nanoha. It's made by 7 arcs, and Nanoha really, or well, I call it Nanoha for short, really is like a spin-off. It's a spin-off of an actual game. The actual game, I can't remember where it really was, but they made this side story to the series called Lyrical Nanoha. At the beginning, it was just, side part of it, but people actually really liked the sense of the magical girl coming out of that series for some reason. I'm not completely sure why, but it actually spawned his own series itself. Now, Lyrical Nanoha has, I want to say, 3 seasons and 2 spin-offs. Now, the reason why I call it that way is because Lyrical Nanoha has his main 2 seasons, Mahou Shoujo Lyrical Nanoha and Mahou Shoujo Lyrical Nanoha Ace. Both of them focus on the main characters, Nanoha, Feito, Hayate. If you guys haven't actually watched it, I really recommend you do. That's it. The 3rd season is set up probably a couple years after the first 2 seasons, when they're actually a little more grown up, but they focus a little more on different characters and just how the connections are, just different things. But of course, the season 3 has the longest of the 3, and there's 2 spin-off, both Mahou Shoujo Lyrical Nanoha Vivid and Vivid Strike, which Vivid is a little more of the mainstream, like I'll call it season 4 of the series, and Vivid Strike is actually the side story of that. So if you guys really want something to spawn for a long time and maybe just, get in touch with the characters and all that stuff, I really recommend Lyrical Nanoha as one of my top 2. Now, my top number 1. You guys probably already guessed this since the last video, but my top number 1 is Cardcaptor Sakura. I do have every season, or I guess every part, DVDs of the original Cardcaptor Sakura. Now, it's not the original, it's actually the DVDs that came out a couple of years back. I want to say maybe 2-3 years, I think, if I remember correctly. But yeah, Cardcaptor Sakura, for you guys, is the very first anime that I really enjoyed as a kid. I was back in my country, so when I started watching this, I fell in love with the characters. I never really finished it until after I got into middle school and came to the United States. But overall, Cardcaptor Sakura is probably one of the best nostalgia animes out there. It's been since probably the 1990s, and it's made by Clamp. Now, if you guys know Clamp has made different series out there that connects every one of their series to their stories. Tsubasa Chronicles is the main one that connects everything, mostly because it spawns both XXXholic or Kabuto, I think that's what it's called, and then of course it has the introductions to some of the Cardcaptor Sakura characters like Cloud Reed and things like that. But Clamp has made Cardcaptor Sakura last as long as it did. Just recently, actually, just a couple, I want to say a year or so back, they announced that they're actually going to go ahead and continue Cardcaptor Sakura. Now, I was very happy when I heard that announcement. I've been a fan of Cardcaptor Sakura for a long time, and I do want to say that it's great to see that they're putting effort on some of the older animes out there, but at the same time recreate them a little bit better. Even better, the anime, manga. The manga, of course, it's its own series, while the anime spawned 60 episodes for I don't know where. But what I really love about Cardcaptor Sakura is that they still continue with the story throughout the whole series of the anime, with a little twist and things like they did back in the day. But now it actually goes on, which is something that a lot of great people, or I guess a lot of great fans from the series actually wanted from a long time. I myself included, of course. But go check it out. I really recommend it as a nostalgia anime. You can watch all of these animes in all of the streaming sites that they around the world right now. We have Funimation. I recommend watching Negima there. Sword Art Online and Kakato Sakura are both in Crunchyroll. It is free if you guys want ads, and you guys can pay a subscription for it, of course. Lyrical Nanoha is actually in the new Amazon site called Anime Strike. It has all the seasons plus Vivid Strike, which actually just came out a couple of years ago. Or, I'm sorry, came out a couple of weeks ago and ended a couple of weeks ago, actually. But yeah, Anime Strike, Crunchyroll, Funimation. You guys can go ahead and go to those websites, watch it, mostly for free. Some things are probably just a little annoying because of the ads. I really like the ads, so I actually pay for the subscription. Don't blame me. But yeah, it is my top 5 for a very good reason. We're gonna go ahead and review all of these animes at some point in my channel. Most of them are just gonna be nostalgia once again, but we're gonna go ahead and do other things. I've been thinking of a lot of great things for this channel, and hopefully you guys are up for the challenge, because you know what, we're gonna go ahead and do this as much as we can, or at least as much as I could. I am a working student. I work full-time and I'm a student, so if I don't post a lot of videos, it's because I am a little bit busier, and working 40 hours is not an easy task these days. So yeah, thank you very much for joining me for the top 5. The next video, of course, is gonna come out hopefully soon, and if you guys like my top 5, leave a comment down below, subscribe, like, whatever you guys like to do. I don't even care if I get only 1 like or 2 likes. I just want to make sure that you guys understand this is my top 5, this is what I like, and hopefully we can go ahead and move on to other things eventually. If you guys have your own top 5, go ahead and leave them down in the comments. I'll go ahead and review them. I'll probably post a couple of my own comments. But thank you very much for joining me here in the Otakuzone, and I'll see you all in the next video. Signing off.